In 1970, KFC had 3,400 restaurants in the United States. It was the largest fast food chain in the country, twice the size of McDonald's. Its founder's face was on every bucket, every sign, every napkin in America. In 2024, KFC's US sales fell by 5%. In the first quarter of 2025, they fell another 7%. Customer visits dropped every single quarter for 2 straight years. By late 2025, KFC had been overtaken not just by Chick-fil-A and Popeyes, but by Wingstop and Raising Cane's, a chain that sold tenders out of strip malls and a chain that sold wings with dry rubs were both bigger than the brand that invented American fried chicken. This is the story of how the company that owned an entire food category lost it, and how the most damaging decision wasn't a scandal or a recall. It was the decision to look the other way for 30 years. To understand the size of this collapse, you have to understand what KFC used to be. Harlan Sanders started franchising his fried chicken recipe in 1952. By 1964, he had over 600 restaurants and sold the company for $2 million. The new owners moved fast. By 1970, KFC had 3,400 stores. By the 1980s, nearly 6,000. The brand was so dominant that it didn't compete with other chicken chains. It defined the category. Chick-fil-A barely existed outside the South. Popeyes was a regional New Orleans operator. Raising Cane's wouldn't open its first store until 1996. When Americans wanted fried chicken, they thought of one brand, the bucket, the 11 herbs and spices, the Colonel. By 2022, KFC's global system sales had reached $31 billion. It had over 26,000 stores worldwide. It contributed more than half of parent company Yum! Brands' annual revenue. On paper, it looked unshakable. The collapse was already underway. KFC's identity was the bone-in chicken bucket, family-sized, eaten at a kitchen table, a weekend purchase, not a weekday one. But American eating habits had moved. Tenders, wings, sandwiches, boneless, handheld, app-ordered, single serve. Every major growth trend in fast food chicken pointed away from the bucket. In 2012, Chick-fil-A overtook KFC as the largest US chicken chain by sales. There was no announcement, no marketing blitz. Chick-fil-A simply opened more stores, ran better drive-thrus, and trained employees to say "my pleasure" until the muscle memory of an entire generation pointed somewhere else. KFC noticed. KFC didn't react. The chain was still profitable, still global, still pumping cash into Yum! Brands. Leadership treated the loss as a temporary ranking shuffle. It wasn't a ranking shuffle. It was the beginning of a slow handoff. And the chain that took the most ground next wasn't Chick-fil-A. It was a competitor with a single weapon, a sandwich. On August 12, 2019, Popeyes launched a fried chicken sandwich. Brioche bun, pickles, a fried filet, mayonnaise. It sold out in 2 weeks. What followed became the chicken sandwich wars. McDonald's launched a competitor. Wendy's launched a competitor. Burger King, Sonic, Jack in the Box, Zaxby's. More than 20 national chains added a fried chicken sandwich within 2 years. Online spending on chicken sandwiches grew over 400% between January 2019 and December 2020. The sandwich wasn't just a product, it was a category reset. The fast food chicken market was no longer about buckets eaten at home. It was about a handheld item, eaten in a car, ordered through an app. KFC took more than a year to respond. By the time it released a competitive sandwich in early 2021, the moment had passed. Popeyes had used the sandwich to introduce a generation of customers to its entire menu. Chick-fil-A had used it to defend a lead it had been quietly building for a decade. KFC was late, and KFC was loyal to a product line built around the wrong format. The slowness wasn't accidental. It was built into the company's structure. By 2022, 99% of all KFC stores worldwide were franchised. The parent company collected royalties of roughly 5% on franchise sales. It rarely operated stores directly. The model was simple: open more stores, collect more royalties, stay out of the kitchens. That model worked at scale. It also meant that when the brand needed to change, it couldn't. Franchisees set their own staffing levels. Franchisees decided when to update their stores. Franchisees absorbed every increase in chicken prices, labor costs, and energy bills. When inflation hit, franchisees raised prices. A 10-piece KFC meal that cost $9.99 in the late 1990s was selling for $33.99 by 2025. Adjusted for inflation, the same meal should have cost about $19.70. KFC was charging nearly $14 more than inflation justified. Customers noticed. A Reddit post about a single KFC drumstick costing $4.79 went viral in March 2025. A TikTok video of a customer paying $59.04 for a 16-piece meal racked up hundreds of thousands of views. Reports of shrinking portion sizes accumulated. Family-sized sides were quietly relabeled as individual sides. The chicken pieces themselves got smaller. Meanwhile, the corporate strategy moved in a different direction. Yum Brands pushed AI ordering kiosks. New executives rotated in and out. Between 2023 and 2025, KFC named a new division CEO, a new president of KFC US, a new chief digital officer, a new chief people officer, a new chief development officer, a new chief operations officer, and a chief new concept officer. The menu barely changed. Everything behind the counter did. The numbers stopped arguing. KFC's US sales fell 5% in 2024. Same-store sales dropped 7% in the first quarter of 2025. Customer visits declined between 2 and 12% every single quarter for 2 straight years. By mid-2025, KFC had posted 6 consecutive quarters of declining same-store sales. In 2023, Popeyes officially overtook KFC to become the number 2 US chicken chain. KFC's market share collapsed from 16.1% to 11.3% in a single year. By 2025, KFC had fallen to 5th place. It was now smaller than Wingstop, which grew 41% in a single year, and smaller than Raising Cane's, which grew 31%. Average unit sales told the same story. Popeyes averaged $1.8 million per store. KFC averaged $1.35 million. Then the closures started. KFC closed more than 3% of its US restaurants in 2024 alone. In August of that year, a major franchisee called EYM Chicken declared bankruptcy and shut down approximately 25 locations across Illinois, Indiana, and Wisconsin without warning. Locations in Louisiana, California, New Jersey, and Iowa followed. In December 2024, a 15-year-old KFC in Marion, Iowa quietly closed with no public explanation. In 2025, Yum Brands severed ties with its largest international franchisee in Turkey, Izgida, after the operator failed to meet franchise standards. The company went bankrupt. 283 KFC stores in Turkey closed. In May 2025, Yum Brands moved KFC's US headquarters from Louisville, Kentucky to Plano, Texas. The Colonel's chain was leaving Kentucky. Compare KFC's path to the chains that grew through the same decade. Chick-fil-A built the highest revenue per store in the entire US fast food industry. It focused on drive-through speed, customer service, and a short menu it could execute consistently. Its market share grew from 38.3% to 45.5% in a single year. It did this while remaining closed on Sundays. Popeyes used the chicken sandwich war as a brand turnaround. Its system sales grew 71% over 5 years. KFC's grew 17%. Raising Cane's didn't compete on menu size at all. It sold chicken tenders. One protein, one sauce. The simplicity allowed for faster service, lower labor costs, and a brand identity that travels easily on social media. It grew 31% in 2024 alone. Each of these competitors read the same market that KFC was reading. They drew different conclusions: smaller menu, faster service, handheld food, single serve, app first. KFC kept selling the bucket. 3 lessons emerge from the decline. First, category leadership is a license that expires. KFC believed that owning the category of fried chicken protected it from competition within that category. It didn't. Owning a category just means you have the most to lose when the category changes. Second, the franchise model that built KFC also froze it. 99% of stores were operated by franchisees. That structure produced enormous royalty revenue, but it also meant the parent company couldn't directly control food quality, store updates, or pricing. When the market shifted, KFC couldn't shift with it. Every change had to be negotiated, financed, and absorbed by thousands of independent operators already squeezed by rising costs. Third, slow reactions compound. KFC took more than a year to respond to Popeyes' chicken sandwich. By the time it did, Popeyes had built a customer relationship. Chick-fil-A had widened its lead, and Wingstop and Raising Cane's had built entire competing chains around formats KFC didn't sell. 6 quarters of declining same-store sales is not a slump. It's a structure. In 1970, KFC was twice the size of McDonald's, the largest fast food chain in America. The default answer to the question of where to get fried chicken. In 2025, it was 5th among US chicken chains, posting 6 straight quarters of declining sales, closing more stores than it opened, and watching every competitor in its category grow while it shrank. The mistake wasn't a scandal. There was no recall, no controversy, no leadership disaster big enough to be a single cause. KFC kept doing what KFC had always done. It kept selling buckets of bone-in chicken to an America that had moved on to single-serve fillets in a wrapper. It kept collecting franchise royalties from a system that couldn't update itself. It kept relying on a colonel who had been dead since 1980. The lesson is older than fast food. Brands rarely die from one bad decision. They die from 100 small refusals to update. Each refusal is defensible on its own. Together, they become a structure. And the structure becomes a closed store with the lights off, and a colonel still smiling on the door. KFC is still profitable, still global, still one of the largest restaurant brands in the world. But in its home market, the country that built it, it has become something else. A case study, a warning. The bucket isn't the problem. The bucket is the answer to a question America stopped asking.